Hello everyone, welcome to Take Scare Media, and my name is Jared Lee, and today we lost a legend, the legend of Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of Darkness. I knew this day would come. I mean, obviously he was in bad health. We all knew that, and I'm so happy he got a chance to have one last concert with Black Sabbath. I haven't seen it, of course. That's overseas. If it ever comes on DVD, I'll pick it up. But it's really cool. A lot of people got a chance to see him one last time. He was a major influence on me when I was a teenager, years ago, 1986. Now, I've heard of Ozzy prior to that, but I was more into hip-hop during the early 80s because it was the emerging thing, the emerging genre popping up, and, I got into the breaking and stuff. But it wasn't until I was 13 when I found the genre that I loved. And that was when Ozzy released Ultimate Sin, or The Ultimate Sin. And ever since I heard that album when I was 13, I said, this is what I love. This is what I like, heavy metal. And of course, I was into horror at the time too, so it worked out. Horror and heavy metal were my two favorite things growing up in the 80s, and I just loved every album that Ozzy dropped. And I had all the albums. I don't have them anymore because, I moved a lot and I lost a lot of stuff, but I had all the albums at one point, but it is what it is nowadays. But he was a big influence on what I loved back in the day and what I love now. And it was always great to see him still going out there, still putting out albums. No Ordinary Man, Patient Number 9. Oh yeah, Patient Number 9. Yeah, that was his last album. That's literally was his last album. It's crazy. And of course, when I was in the Navy, I collected his Down to Earth album. And one thing I loved was I used to have to defend him back in the day. People were like, ain't he satanic? Ain't he doing this? Suicide Solution, all this stuff. And I used to defend him, like, about the lyrics and all that to other students back in middle school and not really high school, mostly middle school. Ozzy's this, and he preaches this, and he's, and it was awesome. I just like, hey, I stood up for him. Said, Ozzy's the best. And like I said, The Ultimate Sin. Then he did No Rest for the Wicked, which was fantastic. But then he took a break for a little bit because of drugs and whatnot. He went through a lot. And I remember sitting with the lights off, watching MTV Headbangers Ball in 1991, I believe it was, when No More Tears from his album, No More Tears, came on. And I just stood up, like literally stood up, jaw dropped. Holy cow, Ozzy Osbourne is back. And because he took some time off. And I just loved that album. I went and got the album, bought it from a friend, and, still has been his fan ever since. I wish I could have met him. For years, I was like, how can I meet Ozzy Osbourne? But I knew damn well I'm not going to meet him. Trying to meet celebrities, you would have to have the money and time, travel to go try to meet somebody out in the wild or whatever. And unless you knew somebody who knew somebody, it's not going to happen. There's so many people that never got to meet him, but there's a lot of people who did. And that's awesome. I would have loved to have met him and thanked him for influencing me and being part of my childhood, teenagehood, and even now as a middle-aged adult. And I knew this day was coming, and of course it's sad, but we all knew it was coming. Sucks, but he'll always be the Prince of Darkness to me. He'll always be top tier. Never going to be anybody like him ever again. And of course, I'm going to go back and collect his albums again. And, at some point I will have all his albums. I mean, I was young. I had all his albums, and I took them out of the jewel cases, put them in the slip covers, and they all got ruined. I don't know what I was thinking. Now I'm just going to leave it in the jewel cases and put them on the shelf like I do with my movies. I'm never putting them anything in slip covers ever again. It just ruins the stuff. But with that said, I just want to say rest in peace, Ozzy. Thank you for everything. Thank you. I know you're not watching it, but for everybody who is watching this, I just want to thank Ozzy for everything and the influence of in my life, and just having straight entertainment for years. And of course, he's going to be missed, as obviously, but man, we still have his stuff. We still have his catalog, and yeah, it's great. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. Rest in peace, Ozzy, and I will see you guys in the next video. And yeah, take care.